and welcome to Ravens Roosting, Christoph's Kitchen. I am so sad to not be with you at this time, but so happy that I'm able, through the Fitzwater Center, to bring you into my kitchen so we can continue to talk about nutrition. I'm a professor of health sciences and public health, and my passion is nutrition and public health and education. So through these segments each week, I'm going to be talking a little bit about how to prep things in your kitchen that are easy, that are healthy, and that will keep your immune system strong and your energy high to continue doing all this online work that you're stuck doing. So today we are going to talk about mason jar meals. So mason jar meals are great for at home or at work. I chose this one today because I found myself, as you might have as well, when I'm working at home, it's really easy to kind of keep working until I get really hungry. And then I wander down to the kitchen and I grab the first thing available, which for me lately has been gluten-free pretzels. You know, you can substitute this with chips, M&Ms, whatever your thing is, but it's not the healthiest option, right? The things that are often the quickest and easiest aren't nutrient dense. Now, nutrient dense means there's lots of vitamins and minerals and fiber in each calorie that you consume. And to have a nutrient dense meal, you really need to think about 4 different components: healthy carbs, healthy protein, healthy fats, colorful fruits and veggies. And then I'm adding one more component. It has to be flavorful and fun. So today we're going to talk about the strategy that I've been using over the past week or so to shift from eating too many gluten-free pretzels and corn chips to a little bit more nutrient-dense meals at home. Now that I'm not able to go to the caf, I'm not necessarily going out to dinner, and I'm not necessarily having that same time to and routine to just do my breakfast, go to work, lunch, then dinner, right? So we're in a little bit different routine, which is a great opportunity to make some healthy changes. So as I said, the mason jar meals are going to have these 4 components. So we have healthy carbs, healthy fats, healthy proteins, and colorful fruits and veggies. So I have created 5 different types of mason jar meals. We have a mason jar smoothie, we have a mason jar salad, we have a mason jar grain bowl, we have a more heavy mason jar option. So this is going to be a mason jar burrito. And then we have a mason jar parfait. So I'm going to start with the smoothie. So let's walk through the key ingredients here. So when I'm making a smoothie, I want to make sure that I have some healthy protein. Here I've layered some whey protein on the bottom of this mason jar. Then I have my healthy fat. So I layered a little bit of peanut butter, about a tablespoon of peanut butter, about 20 grams of whey protein on the bottom. Then I added a healthy carb. So we can think of a banana as a fruit or a healthy carb because it's a starchy fruit. So I use this as my healthy carb and a source of fruit. And then I topped it with spinach. So I threw spinach on the top. Now this I'm going to put in my refrigerator, and then tomorrow morning when I get up, I'm going to pour these ingredients in a blender, as well as a cup of soy milk or regular milk or almond milk, any milk of your choice. You could also use water if you're looking for a lower calorie version. And there we go. We have our healthy meal in a jar here. All right. So next, say I am hungry for lunch next. So I might choose my mason jar salad. A mason jar salad is pretty easy to make. If you want to add in the dressing beforehand, make sure it goes on the bottom so it's not making everything soggy. So a little dressing, I like to add mine afterwards in my mini mason jar. But you want to make sure too that your dressing is full of healthy fats. So something with olive oil, something with vinegar, not the creamy style dressings that are a little bit higher in the heart clogging saturated fats. So here I make my own dressings with things that are available in the pantry. So I could pick something like 1 tablespoon of oil, a teaspoon of vinegar, a half teaspoon of something sweet like honey or maple syrup, and then a half teaspoon of something that has a little bit of flavor, like parsley or basil or something like that, and then a little bit of Dijon mustard and maybe a little bit of spiciness, like some paprika or pepper or something like that. So, and there you have just a little mason jar, teeny tiny mason jar dressing there. For the salad, I usually use 2 cups of leafy greens and then a cup to 2 cups of the rest of the veggies. And I always like to make as many colors as possible. So my goal is 3 to 4 colors per mason jar. So here I have 2 cups of spinach piled on the bottom, then a layer of half cup of carrots, a layer of half cup of tomatoes, a layer of half cup of mushrooms. Then I topped with my healthy fats and protein. Here I chose to use some cheddar cheese and some almonds, which have some nice heart healthy fats in them. If that isn't enough food for you, if you are an athlete, if you need a little bit more protein, you can always add some grains on the side, like a slice of whole grain bread, and even something like a can of tuna or some deli meat or something like that to spice it up a little bit and make it a little bit more of a filling meal. Next, we have the grain bowl. So in the grain bowl, I do like to add the liquid first. So here I made my liquid my protein and fat. So I have some hummus on the bottom. Hummus is typically made with chickpeas and sesame paste. And so that is going to be both your healthy protein and your healthy fat. I put about a 1/4 cup of hummus on the bottom here. Then I layered with a half cup of quinoa. Quinoa is a really great complete protein plus a whole grain, so you get your carb and your protein in there. Then I topped with my 3 different colored veggies. So here I have some red and yellow peppers, some snow peas, and a little bit of broccoli. And if I wanted it to, again, be a little bit more rich, a little bit more dense in protein, I could always top it with some extra fat like cheese, and I could always add in that can of tuna. I could also make it a little bit more soupy by adding in some extra dressing, but I kind of like that sort of thicker taste that the hummus gives there. And typically I wouldn't eat these 3 things in the jar, right? I might pour them back in there after mixing them. But typically I would take them from the jar, pour them in a bowl or something. So the jar is more of a holding spot for me, but some people choose to eat right out of the jar as well. If you're going to do that, I might have smaller portions and a bigger jar. So like this is a liter jar of a mason jar, right? And so I might choose to use that for my grain bowl rather than just the 2-cup jar here. Next, we have our little bit of richer bowl, all right? So with this, I might make something like a wrap or a burrito. So these are a little bit denser. They might have a little bit more grain and bean, so a little bit more of the starch and the protein in them, and maybe a little bit less of the vegetable, but still you want some veggies mixed in there. So here I have some brown rice, and I've layered that with some refried beans. I've topped it with some peppers, and when lunchtime or dinner time comes, I might scoop this out, throw it in a wrap, add a little bit of lettuce, maybe a little bit of cheese as well, and that can be a pretty filling meal right there. So there's another option for you. And again, if we look at the different components, we see that the grain is going to be the rice, the protein is the bean, the veggie is going to be the peppers and some lettuce if you add it. The wrap would add a little bit of extra starch or healthy carbohydrate, and then if you decided to put some cheese in there, then you'd have some healthy fat. And last, we have our parfait. This could also be turned into a smoothie. It could also be turned into overnight oatmeal if you used something different on the bottom, like a milk instead of a yogurt. So this is a parfait here. So here I layered as my protein some Greek non-fat yogurt. So when you're looking at yogurt to increase the protein intake, Greek yogurt can be a really good option. Using yogurt without any sweeteners can also make it more nutrient dense. The average American eats over twice as much added sugar as we should each day. And I really like saving my sweetness for something that is really enjoyable. I don't want to waste my added sugar on yogurt. I would rather have the sweetness in there from the blueberries. And I would rather choose my added sugar like for some chocolate after dinner, something that I really enjoy and like. So here we have our protein on the bottom, non-fat Greek yogurt. Then I've layered my healthy carb with some oats over here. You could also use something like granola, but again, granola often has a lot of added sugar in it, so really check the labels on there. We can do another segment all about added sugar, actually. It's a really good one. Then we have our sweetness and our nutrient-dense fruit, which is going to be blueberries. And then lastly, we've put in some walnuts, which is going to be our healthy fat. So again, you could just mix this in, dig in a spoon and eat it out of the jar, or you can pour it into a bowl, mix it around there. Or if you wanted a thick smoothie, you could blend this up or add a little bit of water or a little bit of almond milk, and you could have a smoothie as well. Now, structured meals are really important at a time like this. So we want to make sure that our immune systems are really healthy and strong. Colorful fruits and vegetables have these components called phytochemicals in them that can really boost up our immune system. So the more color, the better. We also need to make sure we're having healthy fats that reduce inflammation, again, to boost our immunity. We don't want inflammatory compounds acting all the time and having us in this, immune compromised state. We want to save those for when we get sick or injured so they can come in and protect us. So having things like walnuts, having things like olive oil, having things like almonds for our healthy fats can really help reduce inflammation. We also want to make sure that we have whole grains when we're looking at carbohydrates. So instead of my pretzels, we want to make sure that our whole grains such as oats and quinoa and brown rice are really acting to support our digestive systems and giving us all the nutrients we need to energize our studying as well as hopefully our walks outside and in the woods and things like that. And our protein is going to rebuild and help us think a little bit better. And so our protein that we break down each day needs to be rebuilt in order to help us move, to help us think, to help things move around our body well. And then lastly, we want to make sure we get enough water. So don't skimp on the water. You can, every time you have one of your mason jar meals, make sure you're having a couple cups of water to go along with it. Carry that mason jar of water around all day or a bottle of water around all day, and make sure you drink an extra cup of water for every cup of coffee or tea or soda that you drink. So my suggestion is make yourself some mason jar meals each day. Give yourself a little bit of time to think about when am I going to go down and have these meals? How many do I need to have ready? Maybe you're a person who eats 5 times a day. Maybe you're a person who eats 2 or 3. But having these on hand, maybe by making them the night before or making them on Monday morning, can be a really helpful way to ensure that there's always something healthy in the fridge. So thanks everyone for joining me at Christoph's Kitchen. I really look forward to seeing you all next week. Take care.